Today is the day. We did our weekly weigh-in earlier and the results were great. But before we get into that weigh-in, thank you so much for stopping in. Hello and welcome to the Transformation Series. Welcome to my daily life of what this whole thing looks like, how I'm trying to lose this weight, what I'm doing on a daily basis, what the workouts look like, all of that right here on the channel. So thank you so much for stopping in. Like I said, today is our weekly weigh-in. I believe it's week 11. I'm losing count of my weeks at this point, but I think it's around there. I hope I got that right. But yeah, before this week, we were a little over 300 pounds. We were at 300.8. So let's see where that weight lines up after we step on the scale. So without further ado, I'm going to send it over to Past Me to go over the scale and the numbers, and then I'll come back and talk through it a little bit. So without further ado, take it away, old me. Hello and welcome to the week 11 weigh-in. Just stepped on the scale, sitting at 297.8 pounds, so we are down another 3 or so pounds in the last week, which is great progress in my opinion. Very happy with that result. Finally getting over the hump of that 300-pound mark, and finally getting past that has been something we've been aiming for a while. We are down almost 40 pounds in total, which is amazing so far. Week 11, like I said, so we're on pace for, I don't know, almost 4 pounds a week, 3 point something pounds a week. But going over the measurements real quick before I send it back to me to talk over these results a little more in depth. So chest, 48 inches, same as last week. Stomach, 52 inches, down an inch from last week. Biceps are both 15 inches, which is the same as last week. And thighs are the same measurement of last week, coming in at 28.5. So yeah, that's where we're sitting right now. I'm not going to talk too much in front of this mirror right now because I got to get to the gym real quick. Just want to get this weigh-in in the morning, and I'll send it over to future me to talk over these results a little more in depth and go over how I'm feeling and obviously the rest of today's progress. So I'll send it back over to me. Thank you, Past Me, for sending it back. Being completely honest, very happy with those results. I mean, we're under, I don't know, like, I was talking with my mom on the phone earlier because, one, I just like to catch up with her, make sure I tell her I love her, etc., etc. So I call her once or twice a week. But I was catching up with her, and she's like, yeah, everybody has the saying for when they get under 200. But what is it when you get under 300? It's a big number. There probably shouldn't be a saying for something like that, because if you're up that weight, either you are a freak of nature or you're like me and you're severely out of shape. So I don't have a name for it, but I'm just super happy with getting below that number. It's a huge milestone to hit on this journey, honestly. Something I've been looking forward to for the past 2 weeks or so. Definitely something that I'm super proud of myself for getting to, but we can't just sit and love it as much as we'd like. We still have a long way to go on this journey. I still want to be down another 80 pounds eventually. Ideally, probably another 90 pounds to get to a super low body fat percentage and get really in shape. But that's going to take a while. We're only almost 3 months in, but 3 months in, down almost 40 pounds, I love those numbers personally. We should be down around 40 upon next week, which will mark the 3-month period right on the dot. So basically, we're down. I did the math in my head and then realized I was wrong. So like we're a little over 12 pounds a month, 12 and a half pounds a month, somewhere around there. Quick math in my head, but yeah, like I said when I did the weigh-in, we are at 297.8. Our muscle mass is the same. It's been for a majority of this, around 170, 171 pounds. Fat-free body weight around the same. Weight has gone down a lot. Body fat percentage is down 7.7% overall, which is awesome. We're down to 39.6% body fat, which is still way too much, but we're slowly chipping away at that. So really happy with where we're sitting right now. And even looking at it, just a lot of body water in the measurements as well, using my little fit index scale numbers. So yeah, going over the measurements, they're pretty much the same. I don't expect measurements to change too much on a weekly basis. I imagine, I haven't kept in a notes file on my phone. I imagine looking at it from the start to the end, like the progress pictures I'm uploading on my Instagram. If you're not familiar with that, check it out, link below in the description. Watching those every week has been very fun for me and something I've been enjoying to do a lot. But yeah, yippee, we did it. We achieved one of the smaller milestones, but still a milestone nonetheless, and time to celebrate that. But we got to get into today, what today looked like, what we did throughout the day, and where everything is sitting. So one, I'm going to start off with this and we'll get into it when I explain the day. 3 workouts for today. I'll talk about that in a second. It's not as extreme as it might sound. But starting off the day today, my sleep schedule has been fixed, kinda. It's a little past 12 right now. I'll be going to bed any minute. As soon as this is edited and uploaded, I will be hitting the hay. So I'll ideally be up around the same time tomorrow morning. But yeah, got up at 8 this morning, woke up to a call from the physical plant department at my school because I requested some work from them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of waking up that early, but got the call. I was going to the gym at 9 anyways. Obviously recorded the weigh-in this morning. That was around 8:30, so right before I headed out to the gym. And today was leg day. I've been looking forward to leg day for a long time and finally got a really good one in. So we'll walk through of what that all looked like. So leg day starting off for me, it's always going to be the leg press. I'm going to go through all these. I go through my workouts every day like it's a new topic, just because for one, the newer people in here, thank you so much for hopping in. I want to talk about what I'm doing, especially on these videos, which seem to get a bit more viewership come in than the normal videos, weigh-in videos, that being. So yeah, started out with leg press. The way I always do my leg press is with one leg, one plate, one leg, to just get a little warm-up set in. So I do one plate, 10 reps on each leg, and then both legs to rep that out. So 30 rep warm-up, nothing too extreme. For me, one plate is extremely light and nothing to worry about at all. After that, I progressively move up throughout my weights. So I go to 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, etc. But I only do 5 sets. So when we got to where it would be normally be 5 plates, I wanted to go a little heavier today because I was feeling really good. And I feel like I was hitting 4 plates. I'm like, okay, this is kind of light. So I went up to 6 plates either side, which, oof, math. So the bar itself is roughly 100 pounds. These are 45 pounds, so 10 plates total. It's about 450 and then 540. So roughly 640, 650 pounds on the leg press, all said and done. When we got up to 6 plates, assuming I did my math correctly in my head. If not, please correct me. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. But getting up to a really high weight, which, oof, there was a guy, looked like ex-Army, ex-Marine, something like that. Guy's an animal. He was cranking out like 7 plates. It's like, dude, he wasn't like a larger guy, like super tall, muscular, but he was very in shape. I would say about 6 foot. He was just cranking out a lot of reps. So shout out to that guy. He's an animal. Seeing those people at the gym is awesome because they're doing some crazy stuff. But yeah, got through that and then moved over to our calf raises. Calf raises are what they are, nothing too fancy, but still want to hit the calves, even though there is the common trend of if you're a bigger fella, you don't have to train calves because you have to walk. And I'm doing 300-pound calf raises every time I take a step. So yeah, getting to do those workouts and getting the calf raises in are very good. I'm a big fan of those. And then after that, moving over to the hamstring curl, that's what it's called. Went through those real quick, and then same thing with that. I always start with one leg on a lower weight, hit both legs as a little warm-up, and then go through all 10 reps. I don't increase weight too progressively. If I get nearer to the end of my sets, I'm be like, okay, I can get through these without as much struggle. I'll up it a little bit, but nothing fancy there. And then the same exact thing for quad extensions, and that wrapped up the weights for today. The adduction abduction machine was taken, and by that point I had absolutely killed my legs, went super hard on all the other workouts, and I was just sore and wanted to chill out for a little bit and had a lot planned for the day. So after that, went over to the treadmill for our usual walk. That one was about half an hour, 35 minutes to get some good cardio in, and then sat in the sauna for another 30 minutes after that. So overall, getting in everything throughout the day that I like to get in a normal gym session. And by the time I was done, it was, I want to say 11:30. I have to remember the math in my head. It might have been honestly closer to 11. So yeah, I want to say I got out of the gym around 11:15. For those who don't know, my work is very flexible. I work later into the nights anyways, hence why I'm always up at a later hour recording these, because work usually goes until around 10, between like 9 and 11, but usually around 10. So yeah, I didn't have to go into work right away. Came back to the apartment and showered. Was originally planning to use the gym shower, but I decided, like, I needed food. I felt like my body was like, okay, you need to eat some food right now, because I didn't have anything packed with me. I usually do an intermittent fasting, but today it's like you need
to eat food right now before you go to work for the rest of the day. So I came home. I've had a little meal prep that's been sitting in the fridge, ground beef, tomato sauce, or tomato paste, one of the two. Keep getting them mixed up. Onions, peppers, a little cottage cheese in there, and then obviously a bunch of spices. It's one of my better, it's kind of like a sloppy Joe, but super protein based and not a lot of sugars. I feel like sloppy Joe has sugars in it. I don't know. For anybody who doesn't know what sloppy Joes are, look them up. I don't know if that's a me thing. I don't really talk to other people about eating sloppy Joe. So yeah, had that, and then 2 kiwis with my first meal of the day, and then went into work for the remainder of the day. Got a lot of movement in throughout the day, which we'll touch on towards the end of things because I still have a bit to talk about. But got a break at work around 5 o'clock, so went outside to play some tennis with a buddy and played for roughly hour and a half. And I enjoy tennis a lot, but I hate playing tennis as a larger version of me. I played tennis back in middle school, elementary school, a tiny bit in high school as well, and obviously was much smaller than I am now, so it was a lot easier to run around, especially after a leg day. Moving and cutting and jumping around was very sore on the legs today, and the weather wasn't amazing. It was a little windy and tiny bit of sprinkles of rain hit us a little bit. But yeah, had a good overall tennis time, and then went back into work, and then wrapped up the day at work. Got home around 10:45, 11, I want to say. And from there, I just relaxed a good bit. I like to take my me time when I get home from the day, like decompress. For me, it's checking up on YouTube, watching a couple of videos. For me, it's also been a lot of health videos. So watching like a Sam Sulek video, Jeff Nippard video, Jesse James West video, Brownie, or just any other content creators around fitness, or somebody doing a challenge or something like that has my attention at all times. So ended up doing that for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, we had 2 workouts today, but we pigged out a little bit on food. I didn't necessarily break my diet at all, but I did have a little bit to snack. Pizza was brought in. It was a playoff match today for the team, so somebody brought pizza in. I'm like, ooh, that looks really good. No, I won't do the pizza. And then somebody offered me a little bit of chips and salsa. I had a few chips and salsa. So it isn't a bad break of the diet, but also not something I'm super happy with myself. I definitely hit myself. I'm proud of myself for not eating the pizza, because one slice of that pizza was probably the same amount of calories of all the chips and salsa I had. But at the same time, it's like I don't need those calories, especially when I'm going to come home and eat. So I got home, and while I watched my videos, ate some dinner, which was the same thing I had earlier in the day, minus 1 kiwi. I had 1 left and just wanted to have that and get it over with. But yeah, so for me, on a diet, and when I eat a little bit more than regular, I tend to feel a little more bloated. Granted, a lot of that is water weight. I chug a crap ton of water. My water bottle is out of my reach right now, and I don't want to make it awkward, but I have a big water bottle that holds roughly 54 ounces of water, maybe 64. A lot of water. So I have a couple of those a day, so I definitely already feel bloated, and then when I get food in me, even though the calories aren't super high, tend to feel bloated. I'm like, okay, I have some time to kill. I still have a little energy before I head to bed, and I decided to go for a little walk/jog. For me, it's a lot more walking and a lot less jogging, but getting a little jogging in at points, and then some push-ups as well, just because push-ups are probably my favorite workout to do, just body weight wise. So did that for roughly 30 minutes, and very busy day, and that's where we are right now and why we're here. But one thing I do want to talk about is the step count for today, because I've been aiming to get more than 10,000 steps a day for the past couple days as a little inside game with my head, just because I feel like being more active, while I do go to the gym every day and I do tend to eat better, a lot of my days are spent sitting in meetings or at work, just doing stuff and not actually on my feet and moving as much as I'd like to. So definitely aiming to get more steps in. Today we hit over 15,000 steps. Full total on the Apple Watch was 15,520, minus the ones obviously of early in the morning. Probably add a couple hundred more steps on there, but overall over 15,000 steps in the day, which I'm super happy with, especially with tennis, my walk at the gym, and my walk later tonight. I don't feel like I overexerted myself. I feel like I listened to myself and how I felt, and I'm really happy with a really good day there. But yeah, that wraps up everything for today, and it's This one's going a little long on video time, so I apologize for that, but definitely wanted to get a little more in-depth on everything today. So as always, thank you so much for hopping in. I really appreciate it. I'll save the rest of the jibber jabber for tomorrow and upcoming. Tomorrow will be our full day, so it should be a really fun day at the gym. Ideally going to go in the morning again, but we'll see. So thank you so much for watching, and always don't forget, be a better version of yourself tomorrow. Push to make decisions between today and tomorrow that tomorrow you will be happy with. Happy that you're changing your life for the better, or aiming to do something that might be a little difficult for you, but you really need to get done. If you got to do laundry, go do your laundry. You'll be happy with yourself. And thank you so much for hopping in, and I'll see you in the next video.